reduce the volume a little.
So we record the brief message that we'll get from Madam Jane. So Madam Jane is a psychologist, but she can tell us more about herself. Yeah, and tell us how to cope during these difficult times. Karibu sana, Madam Jane Waithera.
Yeah,
tell us the
sana.
name that you would want people to use to refer to you. Waithera.
All right. Thank you so much, Daktari. Indeed, it's an honor to probably be facilitating this. Yes, I am Jane Waithera Reuben, and I'm okay with me. Yeah, so I'm saying that
you are muted.
I am talking. I saw you muting me from the other end, but I was able to unmute myself.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like I said before, my name is Jane Waithera Reuben, and sometimes I call myself Waithera Reuben, other times I call myself Jane Reuben. So whichever is comfortable with you, please, I am okay with any of those names. So yes, I am a counseling psychologist, and I do a lot of mental health issues and work. I am part of the programs that maybe run in the country in terms of mental health awareness and sensitization in companies and things like those ones. I work with schools to do mentorship and coaching. I do capacity building for corporates and stuff like those. So I am multifaceted. As it were, in another forum, then I would be called a hustler. Because I try to do as much as I can to be able to help people. Yeah, so other than that, we recovered from COVID, me and my husband. There are those maybe who know about us and what happened and what we went through. And as we were talking to Daktari, I thought maybe it is important to share some of those mental health issues that probably we went through, and how we have been able to cope all this time. It wasn't easy for us, but God made it possible for us. Like I love what Daktari was sharing, that when times are hard and difficult issues find us, so where do we run to? Where do the righteous go? And I can tell you for sure, it is only in God that you run to. It is only in His presence that we can be able to get whatever it is that we would want. And so I want to probably, maybe just brief because of time, talk about maybe coping with issues of COVID. And one of the things that probably we want to identify with is to probably be able to say that COVID actually causes some health, some mental health issues. You become worried. When we were sharing, when we came right in, Dr. talked about that she had a scare, so she didn't know what was happening. So already you can be able to understand that a person goes through a lot of mental health issues. And as you do that, at least it would be important to know how to be able to reduce that, how to be able to reduce that stress and promote maybe the well-being of oneself. So I pose to probably start to think, then how would we be able to do this? Maybe the first thing that maybe we should be able to do is to pause.
Sorry, you have muted.
I'm able to tell myself that I don't need to get stressed by this. So maybe you can breathe, of course, through the nose. Allow me to tell this person that I can't take their call.
Okay.
Okay.
sorry about that. So I was talking about pausing and breathing and reflecting.
Okay, you got muted. Now it's okay. Madam Waithera. Okay, or you can use the other gadget that you had. Madam Waithera, are you there? Okay.
Daktari, you can hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, you can then maybe switch to the laptop if the phone is getting interrupted.
Yeah, let me just do the laptop because there's a call and people are interrupting. Maybe even as we do that, maybe we can reflect and try and understand what we mean when we are saying that we would want to pause, breathe, and maybe just reflect. Beryl, what do you think that is like?
Pausing and reflecting.
Yes.
You see, a lot has been going on. Let me say, if you're a victim, yeah.
Yes.
And then you've been seeing a lot of people dying the same. You've been seeing people not making it, and then you are there and you pull out of it. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of struggle. It takes faith and belief. So when you're out of it, you become weary. You find that you've lost energy, and all you have to do is just sit and reflect and thank God. That's what I'm thinking. Yes.
I'm saying that when you do some breathing, you sort of breathe out and you breathe away whatever it is. Psychologists, we believe that if you take some slow breaths, that is actually one of the best ways to be able to lower your stress, because then it signals the brain to be able to relax your body. So then it would be important that you notice how you're feeling and what you're thinking, even as you slowly do that. Sort of, if it's a reflection moment, yes, but it is also calling for some sort of meditation. So notice how you feel, notice what you're thinking without judging yourself. Instead of responding or reacting to those sorts of feelings, please just note them and then you let them go, because then you would realize that probably I'm getting all these stresses because I have seen people dying. Thank you, Beryl, for bringing that out. Maybe if some of us were working in the hospitals, or we are seeing our significant others just dying. So even if you note those thoughts, don't respond to them by reacting. Don't do that. Instead, you just notice them, take note of them, that maybe I'm feeling this way. Like me, when every time I feel like I'm having a cough or I'm feeling like I'm not myself, then I'm like, yeah, I noticed that, but I do not react to it. Then I let it go slowly. So that is very, very important. So in the pause, breathe and reflect, it is important for you not to pay attention to anything, any of those feelings. Just be aware of yourself that this could be happening, and maybe this is what is happening, and you let them go. Now, the other thing that probably will work out very, very well is to be able to connect with other people. Just find time to connect with people. Talking to people you trust can actually help very, very much. You can keep contact with people. I remember when you used to get briefings and we were being told not to probably visit people, we were told to keep in touch, because keeping in touch with people is a way of coping, because then that way you're telling them how you're feeling and you share any concerns that maybe you're having with them. Very, very important. Figure out a situation whereby you feel so worried, you feel anxious about something, and it is actually very, very important for you to be able to keep in touch with people. Say for now that people are able to meet, however scantily, but it is important for you to ensure that you keep close to people, connect with them, talk to them. If you can visit and keep your social distance, wear your mask and sanitize, talk to people, just have some close contact with the people you feel you're safe with, your family, your friends, people you can trust. And this helps quite a lot. So that will help you to be able to share any concern with them, and any feeling that probably would be coming your way would be important to share with them. Okay. Yeah. So then, of course, when we are feeling unwell or we are anxious about things that are causing us stress, or our mental health is being compromised for one reason or another, we need to know some of the do's. What are some of the don'ts that we don't need to do? One, at times when someone is stressed, you feel like you don't even want to wake up from your bed. You feel like you just want to stay there. If you were chatting with your friends or if you're doing some work, you pick your laptop, maybe you're responding to some mails and things like those ones. But it is important to know that one of the do's of when you're feeling stressed, or when your mental health is being compromised by stress and whatever other thing that is doing that, is to be able to get up, and go to bed at regular times every day. Get up when you need to get up, go to bed when you need to go to bed, but do not feel lazy in the bed all the time, because then that will ensure, is a sure way of ensuring that maybe more thoughts are coming, you're disturbed, you're thinking about this and the other, and can actually complicate other issues. You can imagine maybe sleeping like a whole day. So then what happens in the night? You may not be able to sleep again in the night, and then that will cause some insomnia. When you're not asleep, you're really thinking about so many things. So one of the do's when you need to cope with some of this mental health is to be able to get up out of your bed, and if you need to go to bed, have some regular times every day. Another thing that maybe you need to do is to be able to keep up with personal hygiene. Sometimes when we feel like our minds are compromised, or sometimes when you feel like we are not ourselves, we tend to not even take care of ourselves. And one of the things that happens is that you're not even paying attention to how you're looking, your personal hygiene. You don't care anymore if you will have a shower. You don't care if you brush your teeth when you're stressed. But it is important to know that when you want to cope, when you want to probably feel better about yourself, you need to actually ensure that your personal hygiene is not compromised. So wake up, take a shower, brush your teeth, comb your hair, do what you have to do to remain smart and clean. At times when people are stressed, they don't eat well, or they don't even eat. I hear this a lot with my clients, that when I'm stressed, I don't eat, or when I'm stressed, I eat too much, So it would be important to ensure that you eat healthy meals, and that means then a balanced diet, and of course at regular times. You need to do that, and that actually is going to work wonders, because then body will take the nutrients that it requires to be able to cope with whatever is happening. And remember, I am also saying that it will be important for you to be self-aware. You need to be aware of what is happening around you. With the self-awareness, it gives you an advantage of knowing when you're getting stressed. So when you're going down, then you will realize that, wow, okay, I'm about to go down, I'm about to give in, I'm about to succumb to something. So then you need to stay upbeat. So ensure that you eat well at regular times. Then the other thing that maybe we may need to do, and this is a do, is also to be able to exercise regularly. Take a walk, jog. You can probably even do some 3-5 minutes of some physical movement. Take a brisk walk within the estate, or you can stretch a bit. You can jump, you can skip a rope. That will help, because then it will help the body to remain active. And you also need to keep allocating time. If you're working and maybe sometimes when you feel like you hauna mood, sometimes you say, hey, niko na stress. Ama sometimes you're thinking, I feel so stressed. Then it is important to be able to allocate time for working and also time for resting, so that even if you're working from home, then work during the usual hours. Like you can do 8 hours. Start working in the morning from 8 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, make sure you shut your computer. But there's that temptation of saying that since I'm at home and there's nothing I'm doing, I can work up to 8 in the night. I can work maybe as early as 4 in the morning, but that is not allowed. If you really want to remain healthy, if you want to keep a healthy routine, please ensure that you allocate time that you will work and also time to rest. That is very, very important. Something else that I'm sure we all have things that we enjoy doing. Other people will enjoy cooking, others will enjoy storytelling, others will enjoy just a nice laughter with a friend. Then when you feel like you're being compromised, then it is time that you need to make time for doing such things that you enjoy. That which you have and you enjoy doing, please ensure that you take some time and be able to do those things that you enjoy. And that will probably help you to be able to cope with whatever it is that you are going through. Another thing, it would be nice to probably take off a break from on-screen activities. What do I mean? That we hear quite a lot. There are a lot of news. I remember when we were unwell, we would really get glued on the computer, on the TVs. So we are watching what is happening in Brazil, what is happening in the US, and we would see people dying, many graves were being dug at night, and that I noticed that would actually give us a lot of stress, and sometimes you would think, wow, so I think now if I cough again, then it is going to lead me to whatever I saw. So take some time off those breaks, off those news, the news that people are listening to or are watching. Ensure that when you're stressed, you don't take time on the screen too much. And if you do, ensure that you're watching things that are uplifting. You can listen to a sermon, you can listen to comedy. Do things that will probably work positively for you. One of the things that we really talk about in mental health is that when your mind is already compromised by the stress that you are going through, then that means you may not be able to do any good judgments about issues. And what do I mean? Then one of the things that you do not have to do, or you don't do at all, is to use alcohol or drugs as a way of probably dealing with the fears, the anxieties that you are going through, the boredom, and sometimes the social isolation, because it's been a time, and especially with the curfews and the movement cessations and stuff, that probably people are socially isolated. You don't have a place that you're meeting with other people to socialize. And so if you think you are stressed, or if you think you are anxious about something and you have some fears about issues, this is not the time to use alcohol. It is not the time to use drugs, because then that will distort your judgment. It will distort how you look at things, and it might actually accelerate the rate at which you are feeling stressed, or it might actually even accelerate and probably even judgment. It can affect even your judgment of things. Okay? Is there any question up to that point, guys? All right. Anyone? Okay. If there's none, then I guess we will be able to move on to the next point. And the next point I will be sharing is not to be unkind to yourself or even to other people. Simply being kind to yourself and others. In another forum, you'll find this being called having mindful self-compassion. Being compassionate to yourself, being kind to yourself. And as such, I would want to say that you don't expect too much of yourself on difficult days. When things are too bad, do not expect that maybe you will be able to achieve as much as you used to achieve when COVID had not come. So lessen those expectations. Accept that some days may be more productive than others, even for people who are in business. Accept that you may not be as productive and as effective as you would have wanted to be if there was no COVID. Try to reduce how much you are watching. Read and listen to news that will make you not feel anxious or distressed. You would want to probably also seek the latest information from a trusted source during specific times of the day. Like earlier on we mentioned that you reduce the on-screen time. So be kind to yourself. And a way of being kind to yourself is not harassing yourself with all this news. Every gutter press that talks about how many people have died with COVID, how many people are being buried in a day, how many people are being removed from mortuaries, and all those those can be very depressing news. They can actually be information that can really put you down and make you feel like you have gotten to the end of yourself. So be kind to yourself. Have compassion on yourself. Imagine that the way you wouldn't want to bombard people with information, and scare them, would be the same way. Do not bombard yourself with information that probably leaves you scared, leaves you depressed, distressed, or even anxious. And so even helping others can also be good for you too. Reach out. If you're able to, offer some support to people in your community who may need it. If there are some people who are struggling, it's indeed a very difficult time. People are losing their jobs. People are not working anymore. People are not making their ends meet at all. So this is actually a time, if you're able to, offer some support to people in your community, those ones who need it. Support may not necessarily mean money, because even money is not available at the moment, but you could probably be having something, a packet of unga that maybe your neighbor requires, that maybe somebody in the neighborhood will require. And this is what it is that you would do for yourself, and become kind to yourself by helping others. And that will make you remember the act of giving and the act of helping other people makes you feel very, very satisfied, Yeah, so if need be, it would be important for you to seek help, If need be, if you feel threatened, if you feel like you cannot be able to take this information, if you feel like this is too much for you to take, please don't hesitate to seek professional help, because then people are there, psychologists are there, people are there, and probably a good place to start would be probably a trusted friend. If you're given some feedback that probably this is not you, take that kindly. Don't go on the defense. If someone gives you some feedback that you have not been like this, why are you not taking care of yourself? Why are you not dressing up well? Why are you not making your hair? Why are you not taking a shower? Please don't take it negatively. Take that as good feedback, and probably look for help where you can be able to get help. Yeah, so a good support system would also be maybe friends around you. Like what we are doing, this is very good support, because then we are also encouraging those ones who are still feeling unwell that there is hope. There is hope. That even if someone is in the HDU, I have seen my husband going to the HDU and come back. So I can, this kind of a support also tells someone that probably even me, I will come out, I'll get through, I will pull through all of this. So actually, mental health and COVID are quite intertwined, because there is fear, there is worry, there is stress. And this, you should actually be able to know that these are normal responses to maybe some perceived threats. Or even some real threats, And at times when we are faced with such uncertainties, this is actually what people do. If you're faced with any uncertainty, this is what you're likely to be feeling, You would feel like you're feeling threatened. You feel like your health is at stake. You feel like you are anxious. You feel like this is now death is coming. Because for me, that is what I feared most. I feared to die and leave my children. I feared that my husband would die and leave us. And it was actually a time that I was so stressed. And I know this, like I'm saying, it's human for someone to be struggling with whatever issue that is stressful to them. I guess I've shared quite a few of what we went through, and I would want to invite Daktari to probably say something, or anyone with a question, and then I can already see we have some 7 minutes to our finishing. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Madam Waithera. What you've said is very true and very insightful. Yeah, and I pray that we'll be able to exercise that, especially those times when we feel like we don't want to wake up, we don't want to eat, we don't want to do the regular stuff.
Yes.
I remember when COVID came in, I said I will not stress about anything. So if I feel like oversleeping, I'll just oversleep. Maybe I should have had your advice before that. Tumetoka mbali. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I believe we shall have another time when to be able to prepare even more and talk to us, because there's so many things that people are going through. Yes, and how to really cope in these hard times. So from the audience, is there any question? And Sister Sarah, you are there. You'll pray for us after this, and pray for the sick, the bereaved, the healthcare workers, and also for protection. And ask God also to slay this monster and get it out of our air, our content, our continent, the world. Yeah, starting with our country, we want to go back to normal. Really, we have to go back to normal. Let's not actually get used to the new norm, but let's continue praying that God will take us back to where we were, because as Africans, we relate a lot. So this is not our normal, and we believe that all things are possible. Any queries from the audience?
Maybe I can just share an experience from one of the points that he gave.
Yeah.
And
we are on YouTube live. Is that okay?
Oh, maybe not.
Okay, let me stop it then. Let me stop it. Yeah, so for those who be listening to Madam Waithera, that YouTube recording, I pray that it will be of an impact to you. And God bless you. If you are unwell, we wish you all the best. Our God heals. Thank